As predicted, illegal aliens from Mexico are flooding across the border to take advantage of the president's amnesty offer. We'll have the latest. And Bill Clinton is about to enter the political arena again in a big way. We'll tell you all about that. Caution, you are about to enter a no-spin zone. Factor begins right now. Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thank you for watching us tonight. The left-wing press weighs in on Iraq. That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. Today, the Los Angeles Times ran a column of mine that stated during wartime, there is responsible dissent and irresponsible dissent. The fact that the Times even asked me to write this piece is encouraging because I've been a critic of that paper. I was pleased to have the chance to balance out the op-ed page because right next to my column was one by left-wing bomb thrower Robert Scheer, who along with Paul Krugman of the New York Times desperately dislikes the Bush administration. According to Scheer, the, quote, immoral leadership of the president, unquote, led to the torture situation. Right. And if Scheer gets a flat tire this afternoon, he'll blame Bush for that. Across the country, on the op-ed page of the Washington Post, Bush hater Richard Cohen was also hard at work. According to Cohen, quote, Fallujah is not Stalingrad, but it is a place that the U.S. vowed to take and where, with all its firepower, it halted when confronted with confusion and grim reality. That, of course, is nonsense. U.S. forces could have destroyed Fallujah in hours. It did not because of civilian casualties. The American leadership is seeking other ways to neutralize that Saddam-loving terror center. The lefty Cohen should be applauding that restraint rather than running his country down. Now, as we predicted last week, that's the game the anti-Bush media will play until November, distorting reality, blaming Bush for everything. Now, this kind of media opinion is actually healthy when it doesn't cross an ethical line. Both Scheer and Cohen are open about their loyalties. They want the Democrats in power. Fine. But they and others must be careful not to exaggerate or exploit the tragedies of war to make their points. That was my point in today's column criticizing Doonesbury cartoonist Gary Trudeau. I believe he's using emotion rather than facts to undermine the war in Iraq. Trudeau, of course, has the right to do that, but I have the right to call him on it. Which brings us to Ted Rowell, a political cartoonist who makes Trudeau look like Rush Limbaugh. Rowell said this about Pat Tillman, who was killed in Afghanistan, quote, Mr. Tillman served an evil president and an evil cause. Anyone with an open mind after 9/11 could easily have learned the truth that the invasions of Afghanistan and Iraq occurred instead of a war on terror, not as part as one. Rowell has penned a cartoon that heavily implies Mr. Tillman was a fool for dying for his country. Now, few media organizations have run the cartoon, and few Americans would agree with Rowell, who may now be facing a reaction I would not want to face. And that's the memo. Now for the top story tonight. Political cartoonist Ted Rowell shows up here, and he is the author of the book, Wake Up, You're Liberal, How We Can Take America Back from the Right. No qualms about being disrespectful to Tillman and his family?
Well, it's not about being disrespectful to Mr. Tillman or his family. It's about making the broader point about the fact that people who volunteered to go fight in Iraq and Afghanistan were used, were misled, and possibly even had ill intent in going over there to fight.
But your strip here mentions Tillman specifically and uses the words idiot, sap. You have a question mark on it. But, I mean, for a guy who died fighting for his country, you don't think you've crossed an ethical line here?
Well, I don't think, honestly, I think it's a horrible tragedy that people have died in Afghanistan and Iraq, but it's a lie to say that they've died for their country. I've been to Afghanistan, and there's no way you could confuse that with the Texas-Mexico border. You are not defending your country when you fight in Afghanistan.
Well, all right,
it
but
has
we'll get to that in a minute. We'll get
anything.
to that in a minute. I mean, if you don't think that the Afghanistan government under the Taliban led directly to 9/11, then you're living in the outer limits of reality.
Well, I think Pakistan had a lot more to do with it.
All right,
than
well, that's what you
Afghanistan.
think, but let's get back to this issue. New York Times not going to run the strip. MSNBC pulled the strip off their website. We've called at least 10 other newspapers say they're not going to run the strip. All right? If what you're doing is so noble and so right, why won't these, most of them left-wing newspapers, run it?
Well, I would take issue with the depiction of the New York Times as a left-wing newspaper.
You don't think the New York Times leans left editorially?
Not at all. I think it's a moderate, centrist newspaper.
Right. Well, that just shows you where you are.
Well, maybe, maybe it tells you where you are, Bill.
Well, perhaps.
I mean, we both know where
but
we stand.
But let me hit you with a fact. On the op-ed page, the New York Times has 2 conservative columnists and 8 liberal columnists.
I only count 1 or 2 liberal cartoonists on the op-ed page. Columnists on the op-ed page of the New York Times.
All right, fine. So they're not running it anyway. Why do you think they're not running it?
Well, I don't like to second guess the choice of editors. There's lots of reasons. I do 200 cartoons a year. I guarantee you they mostly don't get run in every single paper.
But this isn't going to get run anywhere.
I wouldn't be so sure about that. I would imagine
I'm
some
willing
papers
to
would
bet
run it.
you that less than 5, what do you got, 140 papers
Yeah,
on the
that's
universal print? That less than 5 will run this. I'm willing to bet you.
I put it out there, and it's up to the
But
papers
why do you
to do
think
what they want to do.
won't run it?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't.
Come on, you must have a thought. You got opinions on everything else.
People are, editors are kind of cowardly. That's no secret among
Might
political
this
cartoonists.
be insensitive and offensive?
That's certainly a valid opinion. I have no problem with people thinking that. But I think there's nothing more insensitive and callous than watching the administration for the last 3 years turn this supposed war on terror into a way of passing a partisan political agenda. I mean, I was just reading a couple days ago about how even administration officials can't even keep track of the number of soldiers who've died in Iraq since the beginning of conflict. They're off by 100 or 200 men. They can't even count them. I don't think they really care
our
about
information, and we have pretty good information, is that they're pretty precise in their casualty totals because we get them every day. Let's go. Look, I understand that you're a far-left guy. I got that, all right? And you're entitled to your opinion.
I'm just a good liberal Democrat,
Okay,
Bill.
you're way more than a liberal. You're way out there. And you're entitled to that under our Constitution. But when you tell me that Afghanistan, all right, was not an action worth fighting, and that we know here, we deal with facts here, that the Taliban fostered al-Qaeda, the training camps were there, the plot was hatched there. And I say to you, you don't believe that we had the right to go in and remove that government. I mean, I'm thinking that there's something the matter with you, Mr. Rowell. There's something the matter with you.
Well, I would agree that even among most Democrats, they were in favor of the war in Afghanistan, but not the war in Iraq. However, they were misled. Afghanistan was every bit as much of a scam as the war in Iraq was.
Backing that up with what?
Backing it up with the fact that Egyptian Islamic Jihad is the group that planned 9/11, and yet we've had no action whatsoever in Egypt.
Even
Saudi Arabia funded al-Qaeda, and Pakistan, I'm just trying to answer your question. Pakistan had a lot more to do with it, and most of the training camps were, in fact, in Pakistan and not in Afghanistan.
Satellite photos. See, this is what I mean. You guys on the far left fringe, you say this stuff. It's not true.
It
Where
is
you get
true.
Satellite photos prove that al-Qaeda camps were all
There
over.
were some al-Qaeda camps in Afghanistan.
And Osama bin Laden admits that he was the guy behind it.
Well, that's not true either.
Yes, it is.
I mean, I don't doubt that it's true, but if you look, people spin that on this network and elsewhere that that video proves that he admits it. It's not true at all. It's like if I tell you I'm going to rob a bank tomorrow, it doesn't mean that you robbed the bank.
Didn't do it because you, Ted Rowell, have information.
I didn't say Osama bin Laden didn't do it. I don't know who did it. The administration has yet to present the white paper that Colin Powell promised in the days after 9/11 to prove to the American people who was responsible and what we know.
So
the American people still have a lot of questions about 9/11, and we want them
You don't
answered.
believe that the Taliban should have been removed, correct? You don't believe that?
Oh, I think it's a great thing the Taliban are gone. I just think that we've replaced the world's worst regime with one that's even worse.
Karzai's regime is worse.
Well, warlordism and anarchy are worse.
Okay, fine. Now, John Kerry supports the war in Iraq, correct?
Yeah, that's what he says.
All right. Bush supports the war in Iraq, and virtually every other politician of any note supports the war. But you, Ted Rowell, you know more than all of these guys. You are smarter than them all.
Well,
I'm going to give you the last word on it, but you, Ted Rowell, are smarter than all of the experts. You know more than everybody else.
Well, I don't.
How does that happen?
I wouldn't exactly say that George Bush is an expert on much of anything.
And Kerry?
And I think Kerry's just as wrong on the war as Mr. Bush is.
You are smarter than, no more than these guys know.
Look,
on both sides.
I think there's a lot of people who agree with me, including Hans Blix and a lot of other
You think there's a lot of people that agree with you attacking Pat Tillman?
Who agree with me that this war was based on lies, that Colin Powell went in front of the United United Nations and in front of the American people, and got us into a war that is killing lots of Iraqis and lots of Afghans and lots of Americans for nothing.
There are reasons for war. There are 3,000 dead in the streets.
Not for this one. Yeah, and they have yet to be avenged, Bill. I'd like to see a war on terror begin.
Well, Ted, look, you know more than everybody else, and when you get your proof, you bring it right back here. But I'll tell you what.
I'll send you my book. It's all in my...
You should be ashamed of what you did to Tillman, and that's the final word here. Next, will the torture scandal hurt President Bush's re-election chances? And later on, The Factor. Will Bill Clinton influence the election? We'll have the behind-the-scenes report coming up.
Talking Points is brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade.
The new GMC Envoy XUV has so many exclusive features you've never seen before. The only way to truly experience it is to take a test drive like never before. A 24-hour test drive. Schedule a 24-hour test drive only at your participating GMC dealer and see why the new Envoy XUV is the sport utility with more utility. Professional grade engineering. It's not more than you need, just more than you're used to.
Like so many out there wherever you go, who've been told that they need their cholesterol low, you've probably moved to the land of no. No burgers, no cake, no time to relent. You eat right and sweat with the best of intent. That's the right way to start, the right way to go, but many need more help to get bad cholesterol low. It's okay. Ask your doctor about Crestor. You should. With diet and Crestor, you very well could cut bad cholesterol about half while raising the good.
Crestor is not for everyone, including people with liver disease and women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. Simple blood tests are needed to check for liver problems. Tell your doctor about other medications you are taking, or if you experience muscle pain or weakness, as they may be a sign of serious side effects.
So ask about diet and Crestor and see just how much lower your bad cholesterol could be. That's the land of success. You'll want to stay there. Crestor can help. Now you're getting somewhere.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Donna Fiducia. Reuters News reporting 3 time bombs have exploded outside a police station in Athens. There are no reports of injuries. The Summer Olympics are in Athens this year, and opening ceremonies are August 13th. Police say an anonymous caller warned a newspaper of the attack, but didn't give a motive. Elsewhere, U.S. forces battling enemy fighters in southern Iraq. They're trying to wipe out supporters of anti-American Muslim cleric Muqtada al-Sadr. Many are believed to be holed up in government buildings in Karbala, but al-Sadr himself is said to be in Najaf. Rocket-propelled grenades have been fired at U.S. forces. So far, no reports of injuries. An Iraqi prison at the center of an abuse scandal is cutting its population in half. The Abu Ghraib prison will now hold about 2,000 prisoners, and the major general in charge says some interrogation techniques like sleep deprivation will require a commander's approval. 4 would-be peacemakers, including Secretary of State Colin Powell, are trying to jumpstart the Middle East peace process. They met at the United Nations today to once again call for the establishment of a Palestinian state. They're also offering support for an Israeli plan to pull out of Gaza. We'll see you just after the bottom of the hour with our next update. I'm Donna Fiducia. The O'Reilly Factor continues right now, right here on Fox.
The Impact segment is brought to you by Fidelity Investments, because you're not just invested, you're personally invested.
The Impact segment tonight, an investigation into the abuse of some Iraqi prisoners continues. The question, will the scandal hurt the Bush campaign? Joining us now from New Orleans is Dr. Douglas Brinkley, a presidential scholar and author of the book Tour of Duty, John Kerry and the Vietnam War. You know, there's something in the news today about Kerry and Vietnam we'll get to in a moment. So far, the polls show that Bush has not been hurt by the chaos in Iraq that has now about 6 weeks in running. Do you think that the prisoner scandal, the Iraqi prisoner scandal, will change that?
I don't think so. I don't think President Bush is responsible for these isolated incidences. This is horrible what's happening. The Senate Armed Services Committee is looking into it. I think Donald Rumsfeld should have brought this to the president and the American public's attention some months ago. But still, I mean, as long as it's dealt with quickly now and the people that committed these horrendous abuses are kicked out of the military, I think President Bush will be just fine with this. It's an American problem, not specific just to this president.
All right. I was down in Florida over the weekend, and Florida, of course, a key state in the union, and I was talking to a ton of people. And a lot of regular folks, not ideologues on both sides, were saying they were getting discouraged by what was happening in Iraq. They were getting discouraged. That was the word that I heard. And this, of course, is more discouragement. So you're saying that it's not going to stick to the president when this is the overriding campaign issue coming up?
Well, I think we all feel, we have to remember 99.9% of the people in our armed forces are doing an outstanding job. Democrats feel that, Republicans feel that, independents feel that. So we need to just isolate the few bad apples and get rid of them here. I think a figure like John McCain is going to step forward, a person who's been a POW, a Republican, and kind of talk about this issue. What's horrible is that there are these photographs that are being brought to us daily now, and there are going to be more. And it is a flap. It is going to cause trouble for a week or two. But I think it's specific to the armed forces and a problem in the chain of command. And as long as the bad apples are gotten rid of, I don't see how President Bush can be held directly responsible for this element of the war in Iraq.
Okay. Now, Kerry hasn't seized upon this issue much. Do you expect him to ramp it up as far as Army discipline, or shouldn't have put him there in the first place? Not fair to them. You know, all the things that the left-wing columnists are getting into.
I don't think he will. He's somebody who, as a veteran, has a better sense of that, and also somebody who doesn't want to exploit what's just an ugly situation. You know, Bill, when you study history, you realize that these kind of abuses happen all the time. I mean, and it's the another sad part of war. I mean, Lincoln, when he was president, there were 1,000 Confederate soldiers who died in a 4-month period at Camp Douglas in Illinois, when they were essentially abused and died. So these things happen. It's one of the really ugly parts of it.
Listen, I think every clear-thinking American, I mean, that's what I pointed out in a Talking Points man with Robert Scheer, saying it's Bush's fault this happened. This is insane. Nobody makes that. It's just a cumulative thing. And I've said this, if Bush can calm Iraq down, I think he wins. If it's still chaotic in October, I think he loses, because I do think that's the overriding issue. Now, in the Wall Street Journal today, there was a devastating article, anti-Kerry article, by a naval commander who served with Kerry in Vietnam and did the same thing that he did on the boats on the Mekong River. And he basically said that Kerry hurt all the U.S. soldiers over there and his opinion, this guy who wrote it, O'Neill, I think his name was that Kerry was an opportunist and used the war to promote himself back home. Now, that's going to be seized upon, I believe, by a lot of the anti-Kerry forces.
Well, look, there's a division there among Vietnam veterans, and that event today is a highly politicized thing. Mr. O'Neill used to work on behest of Richard Nixon to go after John Kerry in '71. He's come back. Spaeth Communications is behind the O'Neill flare-up today. It's just politics.
O'Neill denies that. O'Neill says he has no agenda. He's just coming forward as a veteran.
Well, he's a longtime anti-Kerry force who was hired by, the Nixon White House to go after Kerry back then. And I don't disagree with the fact that he has problems with John Kerry, but I think they're more about the politics of today and holding Kerry responsible for that testimony of April 23rd, '71, which is the whole Vietnam Veterans Against the War, which is, as you know, a lightning rod issue this year.
Okay, one more question real fast. Kill the music for a minute. He writes, O'Neill, that Kerry had written a book that Kerry doesn't want out there. Did you read the book?
Yes, it's A New Soldier. It came out in December of 1971, and it's basically oral histories of people from Vietnam veterans.
If that book were released again, would that hurt Kerry?
I don't think it serves him, because it's such a time. It's almost like a souvenir from the '71. It doesn't do anything to enhance John Kerry, although his testimony, which was finally written, is in the front piece of the book. It's essentially a photo album with oral histories from people that were protesting the war in Vietnam.
But obviously Kerry doesn't want that to be a factor in the campaign. All right, Doug, I appreciate it very much. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Bill.
Directly ahead, neither the Democrats nor the Republicans have a clue as how to stop illegal immigration. We'll prove it next.
It's Fox.
It's news. It's live.
So, what you got for me? Please, that thing's a... Yeah. Where are you getting your numbers from, the sports section? But if it goes the other way, I'm going to dump it. Gotta go. Lily, I'm all done for the day. Can you come in here for a minute? Hi, Lily Bean.
Institutional strength trading, now available on your desktop. For as little as $8 per trade, Fidelity Active Trader Services delivers power, price, service, no compromises.
What do you think we should do about our dependence on foreign oil?
With everything going on in the world today, you'd think that we could find some way to maintain the resources we need closer to home.
Hey, Dad, what's up?
We're trying to do something creative for Mother's Day.
Nice thought. But there's an easier way to give a personal gift. Send a Vermont teddy bear made just for her. Just call one of their friendly bear counselors or shop online at VermontTeddyBear.com. Over 100 bears to choose from, handmade in Vermont and guaranteed for life. Like the gardening bear, the pregnancy bear, and the mama's boy bear.
Hey, Tony, this one looks just like you.
My mom's a nurse.
Oh, they got you covered.
My wife raised 5 kids.
Check out their mother and cub set. Add as many cubs as you need, and they'll add the name to the outfits. And they even guarantee overnight delivery to home or work.
Guys, this is terrific. It's as easy as sending flowers. It lasts forever, and there's no mess to clean up. We're going to look like heroes.
Mother's Day is this Sunday, so call now. Shop online at VermontTeddyBear.com. It's the Mother's Day gift she's going to love forever.
Hey, Fix.
Right here.
See this car? I may use one. Red.
Got it.
Finding the right car is hard. But VHIX.com makes it easy.
Would you call this red?
I'd call it burgundy.
Searching hundreds of dealer inventories.
I'd call it burgundy. Right, burgundy's not red.
And presenting the results.
Ta-da!
Great. Here.
At no cost to you. VHIX.com, roadmap to the automotive world.
Take control of your TV. Comcast Digital Cable with On-Demand and Stars gives you tons of exciting on-demand movies and shows to start whenever you want. Upgrade to Digital Cable now and get Stars free for 3 months. Get tons of new networks like ESPN News, The Science Channel, and more. And with your Stars subscription, Stars On Demand is free. Over 100 hit movies a month are yours to pause, fast forward, or rewind at any time. Call 1-888-YOUR-TV1 to upgrade to Comcast Digital Cable with On Demand and get Stars free for 3 months plus free installation.
In fact, a follow-up segment tonight, both President Bush and Senator Kerry refused to secure the Mexican border, so no matter who wins in November, the flood of illegal immigration from the South will continue. Joining us now from Irvine, California is Professor Luis DeCipio, who teaches Latino studies at UC Irvine. The professor has written a book called Counting on the Latino Vote. Hey, Professor, listen to this stat. Since from October 1st, 2003 to March 31st, 2004, 535,000 people were detained along the Mexican border. And the estimate is they get 30–40%. That means more than 1 million people have come into this country in the last 5 months illegally. Why don't they stop it?
Too much of the American economy and its society depends on that undocumented migration. Employers like the fact that they can get cheap labor. People who have immigrated recently themselves like the fact that their family members can come. So a lot of U.S. society really depends on that immigration. There isn't a political will to stop it.
But the numbers are staggering numbers now. Wouldn't you think it would be an emergency or some urgency to secure the border?
Well, it isn't, because the immigration at this level has been going on for years. It's important to point out that not that many stay at the end of the year. The best estimates are that the number of unauthorized migrants increases by about 400,000 each year.
So you're saying a lot of them who come here illegally go back with the money after they make it and such, correct?
Exactly. And some of those who are detained have been detained multiple times. The same individual can count multiply in the statistics.
All right, you wrote a book about the Latino vote. I think that has a lot to do with what Bush and Kerry are talking about here, don't you?
You know, I'm not so sure, actually. I don't think President Bush's proposal that was made in January really had much to do with the Latino community. Instead, it served the interests of employers. Certainly, the proposal that's been made by the Democrats today, I think, is more centrally involved in trying to win Latino votes. But the important thing is that Latinos overwhelmingly, particularly Latino voters, don't care all that much about immigration. The issue that drives the Latino vote is education, social services. Immigration in polling data usually comes out to be an unimportant issue.
Bush alienated some of his conservative base by his soft approach to the border and allowing these hundreds of thousands, millions, we have to put the word millions in there, millions of people to come in here every year, even if some do go home. A lot cause trouble here. And Bush has alienated a lot of conservatives by failing to deal with it.
Well, that's the dilemma that the Republicans face around immigration. He alienated some social conservatives who don't like the effect of immigration on American society, but he didn't alienate the economic conservatives at all. In fact, they'd probably like immigration, both legal and unauthorized.
Do you really feel the Wall Street Journal and these guys want an open border so anybody can come in here and work?
Some libertarians will make the argument for an open border. I don't think that's politically viable, so nobody will really suggest it.
We have an open border now. They're picking off maybe 30% of them, but everybody else gets in.
Just having the enforcement that we do, which I'll admit is pretty ineffective, discourages a lot more from coming. If you had a really open border, you'd see truly millions.
Professor, thanks very much. We appreciate you coming on in. Plenty more ahead as the factor moves along this evening. Another Gay Days controversy at Disney World in Florida. We'll have it for you. And Bill Clinton is about to emerge. We'll tell you where he's been and what he's going to do. Hope you stay tuned for those reports.
So do you know what I said?
To the bank guy?
Yeah. I said I wanted free checking with no minimum balance, plus free online bill paying. Plus, I want lots of your ATMs so we don't have to worry about those fees. Because I don't think we should have to pay for any of it. And do you know what he said?
Goodbye.
He said, we don't think you should pay for it either.
Oh. Free checking with no minimum balance. Plus from Bank of America. Higher standards.
Whoa.
Never in a million years.
Never gonna happen.
Never say never. Now Lisa 3 Series, nicely equipped for $289 a month. Visit your BMW Center for a test drive.
Are you living with thick, discolored, or flaky nails? It may mean you're living with Digger, the dermatophyte. He and his friends got in deep under your nail. They may be causing an active live infection, and they're hoping you don't call this toll-free number to learn more about prescription Lamisil tablets. You'll get the information you need to start seeing clearer, healthier nails, including questions to ask your doctor, plus a check so you can save $10 on your prescription. Lamisil works through the bloodstream to attack the infection at its source. Lamisil isn't for people with liver or kidney problems. In rare cases, serious side effects in the liver or serious skin reactions have occurred, so your doctor may do a simple blood test. Other side effects, including headache, diarrhea, indigestion, and rash, were generally mild. Ask your doctor about Lamisil, the #1 prescribed brand for treating infected nails. The sooner you call for free information and $10 savings, the sooner you can start to see clearer, healthier nails. Lamisil tablets. Get your nail infection where it grows.
Tonight at 2, go inside the powerful transformation from First Lady to Senator. It's the Hillary you don't know. Dick Morris reveals the true Senator Clinton tonight on Hannity and Colmes. Plus at 3, outrage over Iraqi prisoner abuse. Muslim leaders demand justice. What should the White House do? Henry Kissinger weighs in with Greta. Fox News Channel, the most trusted name in cable news. She's one of the most popular voices on daytime TV. He's an actor, activist, and entrepreneur. Together, they're launching Club Mom. Andrew Hugh and Meredith Vieira on the next Dayside.
Personal story segment tonight. I was down in Orlando, Florida on Saturday, and there were big signs for Gay Days, which are scheduled from June 2nd to the 7th. More than 100,000 homosexuals are expected to descend upon Orlando. And so are some students from the Lions Creek Middle School in Coconut Creek, Florida. A 7th grade class has a trip to Universal Studios right in the middle of Gay Days. Some parents aren't real happy about that situation, pardon the pun. Joining us now from Charlottesville, Virginia is Michael Moyer, the executive director of the Christian Action Network. And from Boynton Beach, Florida, Joanne Williams, whose son is in that 7th grade class. So, Ms. Williams, you're keeping your son home. Why?
I just don't feel it's an atmosphere that our kids should be subject to.
What atmosphere would that be?
Well, my husband and I had attended both Universal and Disney World quite a few years ago when Gay Pride Week was not a big event going on. And we saw a lot of things that were inappropriate. We saw a lot of people making out and groping one another. There were also men dressed in drag and doing things in men's room that were inappropriate. Men walking around with short skirts with no underwear on. These are the kind of things that our children don't need to be put into that kind of situation.
All right. Now, when you went to the school board in Broward County where you live and said, look, maybe you want to postpone the trip and put it on another week, what did they say to you?
At first, they told me that it was impossible to change the date, that there was a lot of red tape that needed to be done to go through to change the date. I later found out that that's not true, that they just really need the principal's okay and the area superintendent's okay. Once I found that out, I then talked to the school again, and they told me that it didn't really matter, that they had no intentions of changing the date.
Now, do you think they want to bring the students down during gay days, or are they just too lazy to change it?
That's a very good question. I'm not really sure. The class trip last year that my son went on to SeaWorld was scheduled the end of May. I just think it's kind of strange that they would move it a week to coincide with Gay Pride Week.
I wonder if they knew about the gay days thing. They won't come on. They give me some mealy-mouthed statement I'm not even going to bother to read. It's insulting. Mr. Moyer, your group, of course, objects to this gay day thing, but, you know, the argument is these are Americans, and if they want to have a party someplace, they should be able to have the party.
Yes, sir. They have a party down there, and...
Take your time, sir.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. Take your time. So you object to it. Why?
We object to it because basically nobody polices the parks down there. They don't watch over whatever they're doing, and I believe that this school trip is coming down there because, you know, they don't know what goes on down there.
Well, they have to know what's going on. We did a story on it the last year and told everybody. I don't think they're that naive. Do you, Miss Williams? I mean, you know, they know what Gay Days is in Orlando, don't they?
I believe that they do. At least someone in the school system has to know the things that happen.
Yeah, I mean, it would be almost impossible for them not to know. Story has been national for now 8 or 9 years. Now, what does your son say when you tell him he can't go, Miss Williams? Is he very disappointed? Do you explain why he can't go? How do you handle that?
Yes, he was very disappointed. We did tell him why we wouldn't let him go. It was our decision, of course. He's disappointed, and so are we. We really would like him to attend his class trip, just like any parent would want their child to attend the trip, and that's why I tried to get the date switched so he could attend the trip. He's disappointed. I think he understands, though, that I'm looking out for his best interest.
All right. Do you explain what you think is inappropriate about what goes on there? I mean, do you get into that?
Well, actually, one of the trips that we did make to Orlando, not realizing that it was Gay Pride Week, he did see some things that were happening, and we ended up leaving the parks.
Okay. All right. Ms. Williams, Mr. Moyer, thanks very much. We appreciate you coming on. Once again, the school would not come on. When we come right back, Bill Clinton is about to emerge as a player in the presidential race. We'll tell you how. And a new book pinpoints where sharks are likely to bite you in America. Coming right back.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Donna Fiducia. An American held captive in Iraq for 3 weeks, finally getting a long-awaited reunion with his wife. Fox News correspondent David Lee Miller has the story from Baghdad.
Escaped hostage Thomas Hamel remains at a U.S. military hospital in Landstuhl, Germany, now waiting for the arrival of his wife. Doctors say he continues to make a good recovery from his 3 weeks in captivity, adding that he will need further surgery on his right arm, where he was shot at the time of his abduction. Today, for the first time since his escape, he spoke briefly to reporters, and he wasted no time to say that he was grateful to be free. Meanwhile, in Fallujah, a new Iraqi general is on the job, leading Iraqi troops, the so-called Fallujah Brigade. General Mohammed Latif replaced another general who was considered too closely aligned with the former regime. During a news conference, Latif condemned the brutal killing and mutilation of 4 American contractors in the city, adding, however, that those responsible for the crime were not from Fallujah and that residents should not bear collective guilt. A small number of the new brigade's officers today were already on the job, searching cars and people entering the city. In Baghdad, David Lee Miller, Fox News.
David, thank you. More headlines coming your way at the top of the hour. I'm Donna Fiducia. The O'Reilly Factor continues right after this break right here on Fox.
Look closely at history in the making. This is the rarest U.S. $20 gold piece and the single most valuable coin ever struck. Our Treasury Department estimates its worth at up to $8 million. It's the only legal tender coin of its kind in existence. Now you can reserve your own legally authorized 1933 $20 gold coin for face value, just $20. What made one single coin worth millions of dollars? It's a story stranger than fiction. When President Roosevelt ordered the destruction of gold coins in 1933, one single coin escaped meltdown. Then it was stolen, bought, hidden, and finally seized by the Treasury Department and sealed in a vault at Fort Knox. Now it has become the single most valuable coin ever struck when it was auctioned in New York City on July 30th, 2002. Now, the 1933 $20 double eagle gold coin lives again in this U.S. territorial minting of the 1933 double eagle from CNMI. It's the first legally authorized coin in the prized U.S. Rarity Series, and it's available exclusively from the National Collector's Mint while supplies last. Lady Liberty is magnificently engraved in frosted relief on a brilliant mirror-finished background. On the reverse, the majestic American eagle hovers in flight as if guiding the amazing journey of the historic coin. Each 1933 gold double eagle coin comes with an individually numbered certificate of authenticity. The final issue price is set at $39 each. But during this limited striking period, you can own this authentic gold double eagle coin for face value, just $20. Each is 24-karat gold-clad legal currency and is guaranteed to be in proof condition. Orders accepted on a first-come, first-served basis. Strict limit of 5 coins per caller. Don't miss out on this historic offer. Call now.
To order your 1933 Gold Double Eagle proof, call 1-800-636-9762. That's 1-800-636-9762. Strict limit of 5 proofs per caller.
You're watching the #1 program on cable news. Enter the No Spin Zone on the O'Reilly Factor, the most powerful name in news. Fox News Channel.
Thanks for staying with us. I'm Bill O'Reilly. In the Unresolved Problem segment tonight, will Bill Clinton influence the presidential race this year? Former president's memoir is due out this summer, and he is a subject of a profile in this month's Vanity Fair magazine. With us now is Robert Sam Anson, who wrote that article. Very interesting article, by the way. You didn't get a lot of time with the president, though.
No, I didn't.
How much time would you spend?
Total about a half an hour.
Half an hour.
Total.
He grabbed you and threw you against the wall.
We did.
He did to you the same thing he did to me.
He is very good in person. He's terrific in person.
Absolutely.
He gets very close to you and takes your arm and looks you right in the eye.
Right. He did. I write about it in my book, Who's Looking Out for You, that I met him at a party, and you call it a what?
It was called a pull-aside.
Pull-aside. You know, he put his hand right on my... I thought he was going to flip me, and I said, this would be great for ratings if he just flips me over his head. But he pulled me aside and talked to me about Osama bin Laden for about 4 minutes. Let's run it down here.
Sure.
You say in your article that Clinton and Kerry speak once a week, correct?
That's right.
Do you think there's any affection? Do the men like each other, or is it just business?
I think it's business by and large. They are cut from very different kinds of cloth. I mean, Clinton is very much a triangulating centrist, and Kerry at least started off as a traditional Kennedy Democrat, though he seems to have
Does Clinton want Kerry to win? Because if he loses, it opens it up for Hillary in 08.
I understand that. Well, there's the possibility of Hillary being the vice presidential nominee.
That's what Morris says. You really believe that?
Well, it's certainly President Clinton has been pushing that. He was pushing that
really?
a year ago spring, and he was pushing it again to Kerry directly in February.
Why would Hillary Clinton want to be VP? Why?
Well, if Kerry loses, it positions her ideally for 2008.
Yeah, but she has enough fame now, and I think the most powerful Democrat in the country now. Why would she want to be on a losing ticket? So you believe
well,
it's
I'm not altogether sure it would be a losing ticket.
No, but I'm saying, but if it wasn't
yeah.
a losing ticket, she's a subordinate and she's Al Gore. I mean, she doesn't have any power. I don't think Kerry wants her on the ticket anyway because it steals his thunder, correct?
I don't think so. I don't think he wants her on the ticket.
Yeah, why would you want Hillary on
That's a guess.
You know, Hillary's a star. You're the president who pays attention to you. So that's not going to happen. And or Mark's going to have to give me another dinner. Bill Clinton doesn't want Edwards to be VP, does he?
Not from what I understand, and I'm not so sure that John Kerry is very keen on him either. He's already been heard telling people off mic that this guy can't carry his own state, and he's right about that. My wife's from North Carolina. I spent a lot of time in North Carolina, and this guy's about as popular as kudzu in North Carolina.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. Kerry's not going to carry North Carolina, no matter who he puts on the ticket, unless it's Dick Cheney. But Clinton doesn't want Edwards because Edwards is competition for Hillary, correct?
I would think so, yes. I mean, if Edwards were on a winning ticket, then conceivably
Hillary's out of the box.
Hillary's out of the box until
years. 2020,
and at that point she's 73 years old.
Okay. Now, do you believe the reports that we got that Bill Clinton undermined Howard Dean's chances? Do you believe those reports?
I do.
Why?
I do. Howard Dean is the flip side of Bill Clinton. He is everything that Bill Clinton is not only personally but ideologically. He is very much a man of the left, and Bill Clinton is very much a man of the center. Dean seemed to go out of his way to make fun of everything that Clinton believes in during the campaign. He
disrespectful to Clinton.
Well, I think he was honest. He called the Democratic Leadership Council the Republican wing of the Democratic Party. He said he was going to fire Terry McAuliffe if he got in.
Right.
And he said that basically that Clinton was a man of yesterday.
So Clinton and McAuliffe got him.
They did indeed. They did indeed.
Do you believe the story?
Well, I think that Dr. Dean helped himself being got too.
Sure, Dean played into the hands, but he did it under duress. Do you believe the story that Clinton and McAuliffe came up with the Iowa tape, where Dean said these are rubes out there and this whole Iowa thing is a joke? Because that's what sunk him in Iowa.
I'm not absolutely certain about it. There was a lot going on.
All right, so you don't know that for sure. Now, in your article, you imply, and correct me if I'm wrong, you imply that Bill Clinton still has an active social life with the ladies.
Well, I don't know that, but he is, we're both Irish Catholics. This is what the nuns called proximate occasions of sin. He is putting himself in situations that at very least lend themselves to
gossip.
To gossip,
okay.
And there's plenty
but you
of
don't
gossip.
know for sure whether he's running and chasing. Because let's face it, I mean, he's alone a lot. I think he's a lonely man. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think he's a lonely guy. And he has the most beautiful women in the world wanting to have dinner with him and hang around with him, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how many guys would say no if you don't have anything else to do.
I'm not interested in the president's social life as social life, but it seems to me that after you've gone through what he did in 1998 to 2000, I don't expect him to enter a Trappist monastery, but I would think that he would be very careful about appearances. And it's not just me as a reporter who's worried about that kind of stuff.
But he's not.
People who are very, very close to him really are despairing of this kind of behavior.
Yeah, he's not. He goes and hangs around with who he wants to hang around with.
He basically has contempt for appearances.
Yeah. I mean, if he wants to hang around with Naomi Campbell, he's going to do that.
Among others, yes.
Among others, right. We know that, but you don't know anything more than that. It's just appearances.
No, and I'm not interested in knowing.
Okay, I know. I got to ask these questions. I just said I think he's a lonely man. Wrong?
I don't think, well, he is, I wouldn't say he's a lonely man, but he's certainly a man who craves company at all times. He has a difficult time being alone, with the exception of when it's alone late at night and reading.
And he and Hillary
like
are not alone, are not together very often, correct?
Well, he's got a big travel schedule, and she has a fairly large travel schedule as well. I do think that when they are with each other, I've talked to a number of their friends, and they say it's a very terrific relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Okay.
I'm convinced of that.
But they're apart much more than they're together.
Yes.
Right. Now, last question. Do you believe that Clinton going out on his book, what tour, whatever it is, I don't know how much media he's going to do.
Oh, it'll be huge.
Well, he's not going to do The Factor, and he's not going to do shows that are going to challenge him in any way. He's just going to do the kissy face. Here you are. But you think
But he's going to be
out...
traveling the country and, you know, appearing at your neighborhood Barnes and Noble.
Right.
And every time
he's going to be around like Hillary doing 100
news.
signings?
And it'll be, oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
so he's going to be all over the place.
He's going to be
Is
all
that
over
going to
the place.
undercut Kerry?
Oh, you can't help but undercut Kerry.
Really?
Yeah.
And how about
Democrats
the convention?
were hoping that this would be pushed back until after the election.
Right. The book looks to come out now in July or early August, which is just in time for the convention.
It's a moving target. They're talking about late June.
It's finished now.
Yeah.
But they'll get it out as soon as they can get it out. But that runs it right up into the convention, the Democratic convention.
Pretty awfully close.
Where Clinton's going to be the star, right?
It's going to be very tough to take the spotlight off of him.
Yeah. I mean, you got Kerry walking in here to the Hillary and Bill Clinton show.
And then after the convention, he'll be wanting to campaign for Kerry For Kerry as well.
Right.
Of course
and
he will.
Kerry Hillary ticket, which I don't think is going to happen.
No, I don't think so either.
All right. All right. Very interesting article, Mr. Anson. It's in Vanity Fair this month, and we appreciate you dropping by.
Thanks a lot.
Next summer is almost here, but sharks are already with us. We'll tell you where they are and who they're going to bite. No, we don't have that information, but we will tell you where they are in just a few moments.
This program is brought to you by Toyota. Get the feeling.
It's our biggest Sienna ever. 3 rows, 8 seats, bring the whole team. Or you can have the whole row to yourself. Got a sister? Yeah. Won't even know she's there. DVD? Personal headphones. It's got 60% more cargo space. Wow, it's really huge. Jinx! And it's got a 230 horsepower V6. What's that? I'm not sure.
The Toyota Sienna. It has everything kids want and everything you need.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
What are you doing? I just closed my home equity loan with Ditech.com. I don't need these anymore.
Consolidate debts or pay off credit cards with a home equity loan from Ditech.com. Call 1-800-DITECH-1.
Where do you find athletic braces, diabetic supplies, maternity products, Tuality medical equipment and supply? Where do you find seat lifts, scooters, and walking aids? Tuality medical equipment and supply. Bath bars, cushions for wheelchairs, health monitors. At Tuality Medical Equipment and Supply, you'll find hundreds of products that make life easier and helpful people who will gladly answer all your questions. Tuality Medical Equipment and Supply in Hillsborough, next to Tuality Community Hospital.
So do you know what I said?
To the bank guy?
Yeah. I said I wanted free checking with no minimum balance, plus free online bill paying. Plus I want lots of your ATMs so we don't have to worry about those fees. Because I don't think we should have to pay for any of it. And you know what he said?
Goodbye.
He said, we don't think you should pay for it either.
Oh. Free checking with no minimum balance. Plus, plus, plus. From Bank of America. Higher standards.
Why does the Taxpayers Association of Oregon endorse Golia Mary for Congress? Golia Mary helped lead the fight to defeat the $1.1 billion tax increase. And Golia Mary's economic plan will reduce taxes on families, reprioritize spending, and revitalize Oregon's economy. Golia Mary, endorsed by the Taxpayers Association of Oregon, because they trust her, and so can you.
I'm Golia Mary, and I authorize this message.
Check out PD Exposed, the show that exposes Portland, its people, our lifestyle, and the places we love to hang out. Join us every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night at 10 p.m. only on CNW 14. Brought to you in part by Wallbangers.
Are you feeling sexy? Do you have a hot bod? Then head down to Wallbangers Cinco de Mayo Cancun Beach Party on Wednesday, May 5th. They'll be giving away a free trip to Cancun for the winner of the Hot Bod contest. It'll be mucho caliente.
Back at the book segment tonight. Yesterday, several huge sharks were spotted off the beach in Santa Monica, California. And last year, there were 55 shark attacks reported around the world. Most of them occurred in American waters. Joining us now from Los Angeles is Ralph Collier, the author of the new book, Shark Attacks of the 20th Century from the Pacific Coast of North America. First question I have for you, Ms. Collier, is some environmentalists say that sharks are actually dying out. They're an endangered species. Do you believe that?
Oh, definitely. On the average, as you just pointed out, Bill, last year there were maybe 50 or 60 authenticated confirmed shark attacks in the world last year. Probably somewhere in the neighborhood of about 100 to maybe 200 million sharks were killed.
Wow.
Yeah. This has been going on for more than a decade now.
So between 100 and 200 million sharks were killed.
Yes.
In 1 year?
Yes.
And that's for the fin, and over in the Far East, people think it's an
Yes.
aphrodisiac and all of that, right?
Yes, that's true.
Oh, boy. All right, here in the USA, it seems that California, Northern California more than Southern California, but Santa Monica, obviously, in L.A., and Florida are the two big shark zones, right?
Yes.
Why?
In California, we have two different settings for sharks in the United States. On the East Coast and down in the South, you have tropical sharks, which you do not find on the West Coast. On the West Coast, primarily the shark that we run into most often that's involved in these interactions with humans is the white shark.
All right, they're the cold and the big one.
Yes.
We had the big story last year about the girl in Kauai who was surfing and the shark took her arm. But that's unusual, is it not?
Yes, it is. Unfortunately, those things happen from time to time. In her particular case, it was a tiger shark, and tiger sharks are very voracious. They're more destructive in their initial contact with humans than white sharks usually are.
Now, when you research these things, there are a lot of places in the world that don't report shark attacks. I mean, Africa, for example, South Africa has lots of sharks. Australia has lots of sharks. Can you actually pinpoint really how dangerous these animals are?
Well, what we have to go by in this type of research, we have to go by those cases that we become aware of and that we can authenticate and verify. And once we get preliminary information, usually a biologist or a researcher in the area will go out and then gather the pertinent data so that we can then analyze it to be sure that we're not looking at something that possibly might not be what it seems to be.
Okay. Now, in Florida, they can come in very, very shallow. These sharks give you a little bite. You know, we always get that around the Daytona area where they're coming in and whacking you. Are there predatory sharks looking for people swimming in the summer in the USA?
No. Sharks don't go looking for people. We are not what you would refer to as a normal prey. The normal prey for sharks common to Florida would be fish. You have very few marine mammals, pinnipeds, seals, on the East Coast, down in the Florida area. So the sharks down there are fish feeders. And what takes place is they follow their food, and when the food moves in close to shore, they move in close to shore to follow it.
Right, and if your toe is there, they think you're a minnow, right?
That's correct.
Okay, Mr. Collier. Americans are fascinating ever since the Jaws about sharks, and we appreciate it. Your book is very informative. Thanks a lot. And next, we will wrap things up with the most ridiculous item of the day and some of your mail.
Sunday, they are real, unsung heroes, helping to defend thousands of miles of waterways in our nation's war on terror. They bravely risk everything to protect millions of Americans. This is the untold story of the U.S. Coast Guard.
Join me, Ollie North, for the next episode of War Stories on the Fox News Channel.
Fox News Channel's acclaimed series, War Stories with Oliver North, is now available on videotape. Call now, 1-800-933-0760.
G35, one of car and driver's 10 best. Again, brilliantly equipped for $31,690.
Hey, wow, look at you. All smiles.
I finally did it. I made a commitment.
Oh, please, the queen of non-commitment. You who stayed on a 30-day diet for 2 weeks.
What's different this time? It was only a week.
Introducing new Crest White Strips Premium, clinically proven to take off up to 14 years in just 7 days for a beautifully whiter smile.
Wow, a whole week. Guys, it was easy.
When you're an Orkin man, you get asked a lot of questions. Ned,
Can a cockroach really live a week with its head cut off?
They can.
Oh, they can.
You never know what you'll see. Spiders.
Spiders?
What about ants?
It could be ants.
What about silverfish?
Ned, do you do termites?
Hey, Coach, can roaches really
Yes.
do termites actually?
Yes.
I saw a carpenter ant before.
Is your mother here? Well, folks know that we're just down the road. We're a phone call away.
Excitement is high at the LendingTree.com Turn the Tables Telethon, where bankers and real estate agents are waiting to compete over you.
It's our first telethon, but with offers this good, we had to let you know.
Call 1-800-555-TREE and get up to a $2,000 gift card to the Home Depot when you close with an agent certified by LendingTree.
Search for homes, select an agent, and choose a mortgage. It's just a call or a mouse click away. Best of all, call now to take advantage of our gift card offer.
Visit LendingTree.com or call now 1-800-555-TREE.
Viewer email is brought to you by LendingTree.com. When banks compete, you win.
Time now for the most ridiculous item of the day. Al Gore has announced that he's starting up a new cable channel exclusively devoted to liberal stuff. We wish Mr. Gore good luck, and he'll need it. The new liberal radio deal is tanking, as I predicted, because all left wing all the time is boring, something Al may be familiar with. Oh, that was a ridiculous cheap shot. I apologize. I'm still pouting because Al Gore won't come on The Factor, but he's still welcome, as there is something left to say, which is a brand new slogan I'm giving Al Gore for his left-wing network. I believe I'm delirious, but let's try to get through the mail. Lots of it on my interview with General Janis Karpinski, who was in charge of the torture prison in Iraq. That segment was very highly graded by BillO'Reilly.com premium members. Appreciate you guys. Richard Ambrow, Warren, Michigan. Appears the general obtained her leadership training watching Sergeant Schultz on Hogan's Heroes. I see nothing, I know nothing. Les Baker, Annapolis, Maryland. I believe the general's statements were honest. If her soldiers were ordered to use these techniques by military intelligence, who will vindicate them? Paul Irwin, Fort Worth, Texas. Bill, you threw General Karpinski so many softball questions, I thought I was watching Larry King. Jim Clark, San Jose, California. Bravo, Bill, you had the general on the ropes. She showed fear under scrutiny. I love that. Both guys saw the same interview. John Cummings, Bangkok, Thailand. As a former U.S. Air Force Special Operations Commander, I thought it was obvious the general had no clue what was happening in her command. That is not a good thing. Bob Collins, Bend, Oregon. O'Reilly, I've been a Factor viewer since the beginning. Your interview with the general was some of the best journalism I have ever seen. Well, I appreciate that, Mr. Collins. Jeff King, Wheeling, West Virginia. O'Reilly, you and the rest of Fox News Channel are acting like the torture is just a slight peccadillo. Well, you are nuts, Mr. King, with all due respect. Donovan Irvin, Naples, Florida. Bill, you keep using the word torture. What I saw was more like hazing. You're wrong, Mr. Irvin. It was a definite human rights violation. Eric Reed, Sydney, Australia. Mr. O'Reilly, last year 317 American deserters were declined haven in Canada and sent back to the USA. Why don't you mention that? Because it's not true, Mr. Reed. 84 Americans sought refuge in Canada last year. None of them military deserters. Many of them pot smokers. Wise up, sir, and get the facts. Andrew Worth, New York City. Bill, you didn't mention that in this week's New York Times book review, John Dean's Bush-bashing book was panned, but the pro-Bush tome by John Podhoretz was praised. Well, nice pickup, Mr. Worth. A signed copy of Those Who Trespass on its way to you. Thanks for keeping me on my toes. Very good point. I should have mentioned it. Alice Wade, Escondido, California. Bill, I am 15 years old and found your crack about the Olsen twins smoking pot with Snoop Dogg in very poor taste. Eileen Tho, Woodland Park, Colorado. Bill, you need more sweetness like the Olsen twins. And Juanita Mackey, O'Fallon, Missouri. Mr. O, I must say it is more enriching to hear you bloviate than to listen to others prevaricate. Thanks for looking out for us. Well, you're welcome, Juanita. Signed copy of Who's Looking Out for You on its way. How about the website, www.foxnews.com/O'Reilly. I'm sorry I was offensive about the Olsen twins. Starting to feel guilty now about that. Well, on our website, we have Factor gear for spring. Father's Day coming up. You can cloak Dad in Factor gear. Or you can get Dad a signed copy of Who's Looking Out for You with your very personal greeting, which we'll put in the book, and then I'll sign it. That's on BillO'Reilly.com, which you can get to through going through our website, or just go there. Okay, and please email us with pithy comments. O'Reilly@FoxNews.com. O'Reilly@FoxNews.com. Name and town, name and town, name and town. If you wish to opine, please no bloviating. keep it pithy. How can I make it up to the Olsen twins? How can I do that? Maybe go see their movie? That is it for us today. As always, we thank you for watching The Factor. Radio Factor streamed on BillO'Reilly.com each evening. Hannity and Colmes warming up. I'm Bill O'Reilly. We do hope to see you again next time. Remember, the spin stops here because we are definitely looking out for you.
Send the tip in the hope